Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. We are inside the temple proper now, but that doesn't mean we don't still have a few things to do before we confront whatever is in front of that enormous Buddha statue. Like, for instance, we could still come back out here, and there's actually something really particular down here that I want to grab. And it's pretty well related to where we are and what we're getting up to today. And then, aside from that, we have a few more of the centipedes. Not the actual horrible ones that I hate so much. God, I don't know the name of the phobia, but I definitely have a big-ass centipede phobia. And Miyazaki loves those, so, thanks, FromSoft. Either way, I'm gonna mostly just enjoy myself this episode because pretty much everything that we're doing today is one of my favorite parts of the game. First, we have to crawl our way through these deep dank caves. And those audio cues are gonna get more important, so we'll probably quiet down. Oh yeah, we got both of them at once? Great. Don't even have to death blow that one. We're gonna be a little bit quiet during an upcoming boss fight. Because it is one of the cooler ones in the game, and in the litany of FromSoft action RPGs, especially as far as gimmick fights go. Also, does this not look like the catacombs? I think what makes it is the all the statues. I think that's what gives me that vibe most of all. The catacombs from Dark Souls 1. We got ourselves on the right track, though. It's just that given how dark it is, it's a little hard to navigate. So yes, I have to hug the walls and hope. Oh, they do make horrendous skittering noises, like an actual centipede might. Given their proximity to Senpo Temple, you could probably hazard a fair guess as to why they would call themselves centipedes, even though they don't really have any centipede-like elements. And none of these are actual enemies. Even though there is one that stands out in the blue with gold trim garb. Should be a grapple point we somehow missed. Oh yeah, how did we not get that icon? But that's a fair difference from all of the other monks in white we've seen. Those ones are not alive. They're not even animated by the centipedes. Very curious, huh? Either way, inside is our prize. What we came all this way for. Or rather, made this detour for. Those of the Senpo Temple mastered martial arts in the pursuit of virtue. They considered strong fists and strict discipline essential against the Buddha's enemies. However, Senpo Temple was seized by an obsession for the undying, which corrupted their teachings and style. So we now have an esoteric text which will allow us to go down a whole new skill tree of Senpo arts. There's some alright stuff in there. And even if there weren't, to be honest, we would still have gone out of our ways to get this. I try to make my FromSoft LPs as exhaustive as possible. Because even my least favorite of Miyazaki's games are still ranking as some of my favorite games ever. And this is just one of many reasons why. The goddamn level design here. They make it look so easy. They make it look effortless. And it's something that now, so many games into Miyazaki's tenure as director, you tend to maybe start taking it for granted, but you still can't. It's still so exquisite. Oh, fuck this. You know it's a trap, but even when you try to sneak up on him, you can still get spooked by this centipede emerging. Still not quite ready to confront what's on the table in front of the big Buddha. Wow, we're not dealing with that centipede. Fuck that. Hate it. Got a lump of fat wax, though. And there's even more up on the beams. We have to redirect ourselves upon the beams so that we can get on this statue for a dragon's blood droplet. Rarely dropped by a divine heir of the dragon's heritage. Using it will slightly increase resurrective power. Restore the power of life to those who have been drained of it by offering this drop to the sculptor's idol with a recovery charm in hand. In turn, all afflicted with the dragon rot will be healed. The incessant coughing must cease. I'm going to interrogate exactly what dragon rot is, since we still haven't seen it, but just not yet. Know that it's tied to the game's death mechanics, but it's also a narrative element. Just going to wait a little bit longer, probably one more episode before we dive into that, since we haven't died enough to trigger a dragon rot scene yet. But not yet, because what's coming up is, like I said, my favorite FromSoft gimmick fight ever. And I just want to kind of luxuriate in this. So let's ring the bell. Miyazaki loves this bell motif, the idea of bells as illusion shattering or having strange dimensional properties. He loves the idea that the sound of a bell can take you places or bring things to you. This is not even the first time that we've seen it in this game, let alone in all of the games he's directed now.
3 monkeys. One of the panels is empty.
That cute little buddy in his kimono. A 5-pronged bell, almost looks like a vajra, made of aged bronze, can be used repeatedly. When rung, monkeys and wolves alike are returned to their initial states. However, a monkey caught in the folding screen will not escape whether the bell is rung or not. So this will reset the fight of the folding screen monkeys. One dead center, ringing a bell, alerting the others. We got see no evil, speak no evil, and something just tipped over behind us, which is suspicious. But then there's also hear no evil and a missing panel. But remember, there's also a 4th part of the phrase of the proverb in the original Hindu and Buddhist version of it, which is do no evil. So for my money, no other gimmick fight is as enjoyable as this one. Nothing is as sprawling, as contemplative, as quiet, or as well put together. The noise of the roaring waterfall is deafening. Surely no one can hear anything else in here. So we're going to take this fight very slow and just get a good lay of the land because it's great. But listen and look. You could hear skittering. And you could see those footprints. When you spawn into the Hall of Illusions, that monkey is right behind you. It's why some of the silverware tipped over. Do no evil. Bear flame in the wind, when it goes out, the place becomes dark as night. So do no evil, the blank spot on the folding screen, the often forgotten monkey. This one really asks you to solve a stealth puzzle using the skills you've been taught in a limited set of information while also asking you to observe your environment. There's nothing unfair about this. It's so exquisite. It's such a far leap from something like Bed of Chaos. And there's even this... Oh, whoops, that's not the guy. The bell is deafening. Ringing it recklessly will also make your ears ring. So we actually have two ways to deaden sound around you, or to create some kind of distraction. The waterfall, which is deafening, and the bell. And then we also have the blinding darkness in that room. Doesn't appear to be too much here, but the environment which serves as your arena for this fight is enormous. It's legitimately gigantic. You have a lot to traverse in here, because it's essentially a game of cat and mouse trying to chase all the monkeys around and get them into positions where you can sneak up on them.
Yet another who is lost in the halls of illusion. I believe you are on a mission and wish to leave this place.
Yes.
Then you must defeat the monkeys depicted on the panels at the hall entrance. Once you have done so, the Divine Child's voice will reach you. The monkey in the purple kimono is the seeing monkey. He has excellent eyesight, can see great distances, and is very attentive. If he spots you, he will run immediately. He is exceedingly timid. The monkey in the orange kimono is the speaking monkey. While he does not have particularly good eyesight or hearing, he makes a big fuss when he sees a threat, causing all the other monkeys to run. Or perhaps he merely enjoys toying with humans. The monkey in the green kimono is the hearing monkey. He has excellent hearing, can hear across great distances, and is very attentive. He will generally run away the moment he hears you coming, making it hard to approach. He is exceedingly timid. I do not wish to leave the halls of illusion. It is usually quiet here, which means it is near to nirvana in its own way. At least, that is how it feels to me. Oh yes. By the way, there was once someone who, like you, was on a mission. I believe he chased the monkeys for a while, but everything here eventually went silent. I pray that you succeed.
So purple, see no evil, has good vision, can hear well. Orange is speak no evil, doesn't see or hear well, but will alert the others if you startle him. Green is hear no evil, he hears you easily. There is one thing that makes this fight even slightly dangerous. Otherwise, it's just cat and mouse. And it's this. When one of the monkeys spots you or is otherwise alerted, they will spawn these apparitions. The apparitions are not all that dangerous, but if you are clumsy and cause a lot of alerts... Oh, also you can track them by footprints if they are near, and you've only recently caused them to run. Below is an abyss, the bottom cannot be seen, above is darkness, nothing can be seen. But if you're clumsy and you alert them, they spawn apparition monkeys. If you get overwhelmed by them, they can be a little bit dangerous, but usually they just come in pairs. The thing about them, though, is if they manage to hit you, they build up terror. And if they build up enough terror, that's a one-hit kill. Otherwise, they do minimal damage. The fight is not all that threatening. You're not in the most danger. But it is a very tense atmosphere, and it can be pretty hard if you're not careful to just track them down. It can be hard to sneak up on them. But the whole idea is for you... Oop, you can see a terror built up, and very small amount of damage, like I said. The idea is you want to corral them into the places where they would be weakest. Like the one who hears exceptionally well. There are 2 different spots you can bring him. You can get him underneath that bell and ring it so he won't hear you coming, or you can get him near the waterfall. The one who sees well, you can chase him until he settles down in that room where we put out the candles, the dark room. That's the green one down here. He is the one who hears us really well, but does not see so well. Gotchin Sugar is really good for this fight. In fact, if you pop it before you enter the fight, you can cheese this really easily. You can turn around, kill the one in the white kimono, the invisible one, immediately grapple onto a nearby roof, and just pick them off one by one within about a minute. But I don't find that to be particularly fun, especially for a fight that I enjoy this much. I like the cat and mouse game. I think perfect. So already we are down to just orange, I think. And yeah, this is how we could have done that. It's an open-ended enough fight that it doesn't necessitate all of this stuff, though. That's what I love about it. You can approach each monkey in a variety of ways. But now we have the task ahead of us of figuring out where the orange one actually is. Oh, fuck you. Oh! That's the one that doesn't hear very well or see very well. So it's just essentially like a normal enemy. Leaving him for last can be a little bit tough. Because there's a chance that he spots you from pretty much anywhere and alerts all the other monkeys to your presence. We left him for last by accident, but that's given us a pretty easy final monkey. And that's it for one of my favorite bosses. Certainly my favorite gimmick boss.
Please, forgive them.
It's just such a different atmosphere for a boss fight in a game like this. Calm and tense.
They thought to keep me hidden. However, it seems it was not meant to be. Close your eyes. Let us meet at the inner sanctum.
And now we get to this exceedingly pretty area behind the temple, which feels like the best kind of reward. The folding screen monkeys guarded the halls of illusion and befriended the Divine Child of Rejuvenation. And we also get the Puppeteer ninjutsu, which we have a good use for coming up. So the Divine Child of Rejuvenation. Plus, we had the pinwheel saying only the child is here. Only the child. As opposed to the other in the Field of Jesus statues that said they were all here. Like the rest of the children, perhaps? The halls of illusion lie on the threshold betwixt life and death. Departed souls of the divine children drift and sway, taking shelter in the monkeys of the temple. Such is why the Divine Child of Rejuvenation speaks of them as friends. There were divine children. God, what a fucking gorgeous feast for the eyes. We also have something back here. We have a big door, which we are certainly not going to open just yet. There's no reason to. Not when there's them right in front of us.
Why do you seek this place?
I seek the mortal blade.
Do you know of the blade that cannot be drawn?
Yes.
It is so called, for not one who has drawn it has ever survived. Yet you still wish to attempt this.
I do.
I see. Very well. If you are prepared, you may gaze upon the blade. Why is it, I wonder? Are they not loath to die? How are you? Your eye. I see. You carry the curse of the dragon's heritage.
The mortal blade, without question. I accept its power.
We Jetstream Sam now! An Odachi capable of slaying the Undying. Its crimson blade will take the life of any who dares draw it. Without the power of resurrection, one could not hope to wield this weapon, which allows one to defeat even infested beings. Long concealed within Senpo Temple, the blade is inscribed with its true name, Gracious Gift of Tears. And it comes with its own combat art, the Mortal Draw.
I see you serve the divine heir of the dragon's heritage.
Yes.
Why do you seek the mortal blade?
I wish to obtain the dragon tears from the divine realm to sever the ties of immortality.
I see. I have read about this. I have read there is a way to sever the dragon's heritage. Which means the divine heir begrudges the power of the dragon's heritage.
That's right.
How strange fate can be. I am one of the children of the rejuvenating waters, created by those who would stop at nothing to achieve immortality. My false dragon's blood was created by man.
Children? So there are many of you.
I am the only one who survived the process. The others are laid to rest here.
I see.
I do not know if it is right to sever the ties of immortality, but the dragon's heritage undeniably corrupts the lives of men, and I share the heir's feelings about that truth. Shinobi of the divine heir, I have decided to assist you. Please, hold out your hand.
What?
Bless us with bountiful harvest.
Rice that can be spilled in the palms. Rice that's spilled from the palms of the Child of Rejuvenation gradually recovers vitality for a time. Even in falsehood, the power of the dragon's blood brings a bountiful harvest. Rice is precious. The flavor grows richer with each bite and is sure to raise one's spirit. Rice is what that old woman wanted.
Rice?
There there you are. Rice is a precious thing. It tastes better the more you eat it, and restores one's vigor. Shinobi of the Divine Air, you are welcome here. I apologize. Shinobi of the Divine Air, the rice is not yet ready for harvest. I shall give you more when the harvest is complete.
This is for you.
What is this?
I found a note saying I should give this to you.
Thank you. I will accept it.
What's wrong?
I still cannot help but detest them. Farewell, Shinobi of the Divine Air. May the harvest be plentiful wherever your path may lead. Shinobi, you... Farewell, may the harvest...
So the rice spilling from their palms and the harvest and all of that, that's something to unpack later. For now, they lay it quite bare. We know why all the Jizo statues are on Mount Congo now. The Senpo monks killed scores of children trying to infest them with god-awful centipedes to create their own man-made divine children. And they only got it to work the once. The one success story is the Divine Child of Rejuvenation back there. The failures? Holy shit. So yeah, that can kill the infested monks, the otherwise immortal ones. All of their other attempts to create divine children? Well, that's where all the Jizo statues come in. We also have a link between the centipedes, the infestation, and the rejuvenating water now, or the rejuvenating sediment, as it was also called. And we're going to return to the Halls of Illusion one more time to see if we can get a little bit more dialogue out of that monk who was praying there. So yeah, it's not quite the Victorian werewolf hard left turn into cosmic horror, but we've hit our turning point in the narrative, in the themes, and in the tone. We've hit our hard swerve into complete goddamn horror. And we've acquired the Mortal Blade. And already have the Sheltering Stone, which is one of the things that we need to enter the Divine Realm. So we are motoring along. Oh, and we even have one of my favorite bosses in the whole game, not just with a qualifier of one of my favorite gimmick fights, but one of my straight-up top 3 bosses in the game coming up, I think, next. And I don't know how I missed you. You were right at the beginning.
Have you returned? As you do not have any missions to complete here, I ask that you leave quietly. Why? As you do...
Okay, I thought we would get more from him. So, we're going to go back to Ashina Castle. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and do the stuff in the description, because it honestly helps a whole lot.